What's up, everyone? It's Caddy with MoneyVest. So markets here continuing their move higher, and another green day in the books for this week. We've got lots of data to unpack because GDP numbers, mortgage applications, we had the ADP non-farm payrolls numbers coming out today as well. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, find it helpful, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And again, I don't have to mention it, but today and tomorrow are the last 2 days to take advantage of that 16% annual discount for our Patreon, for our Discord. You get access to all the alerts. I did some buying earlier this week. I traded some options this week. So you get access to all of that. And of course, members only private videos, intrinsic value spreadsheets, and a lot of other benefits as well. And we do also have the fundamental and technical analysis courses, including the options course. Everything is 50 to 60% off. Coupon code LABOR4, and that also is only valid until Monday. So if you want to take advantage of that, that's also available with the link down below. And you get access to over 120 plus video lectures, 20 to 30 plus hours of content, and new content is being added regularly, and you get lifetime access to this. So it's just a one-time fee, and you get lifetime access to all the content today and all the content to be added in the future. So this right here was actually a trade on Intuitive Surgical. I posted about a week ago. Not a lot of people actually watched that video. It worked out really well. So congratulations to anybody who did take advantage of this opportunity. So we called out about the support right here with a nice risk reward trade-off. It was oversold very, very much. And guess what? The last 3 to 4 days have been very nice move for Intuitive Surgical, moving higher to our target, potentially getting up to that level. So I already mentioned it in the Discord to maybe have your stop losses moved up a little bit so that you're locking in profit, and of course still looking forward to getting up to that resistance and that target as well. So again, congratulations for anyone who's still trading this or did have the advantage, did have the opportunity to take advantage of this trade. So markets here, Dow Jones up over 9 basis points, S&P getting up to over 4,500 now, and we did have the Nasdaq crossing over 14,000 as well. So very nice move to the upside for the markets. This right here, Nasdaq, basically a lot of stocks here advancing over 3,300 advancers with about 2,600 decliners on the day today. And MBA mortgage applications coming in 2.3% increase week over week, and the purchase index also up over 2%, with the refinance index up a little bit over 2.5%. So we're seeing a little bit of that momentum come back into the mortgage application market. And ADP numbers, now this was one of the reasons why the market, in my opinion at least, did rally, because we got a softer than expected print on the jobs report. So 177,000 jobs added in the month of August. Consensus was 200,000. So once again, this kind of reaffirms the possibility that the labor market is indeed softening a little bit, as well as the numbers that we got earlier this week, which were the JOLTS numbers, suggesting that job openings are also declining in the US. So a couple of those catalysts put together really suggest that the labor market, the jobs market, is softening a little bit. Of course, Friday, we'll find out the actual non-farm payrolls, and we'll find out what the actual unemployment rate is. But so far, we've kind of seen the data that does suggest that the labor market is softening a little bit. Now, GDP numbers also came in slightly below the consensus expectations at 2.1% versus the consensus of 2.4%. And PCE, the personal consumption expenditure, Fed's preferred measure of inflation, is under 2% at 1.7%. It did actually tick higher a little bit from 1.6% to 1.7% as well. So again, S&P 500 rises for a 4th straight day. Major averages curtail monthly losses in late August. Hot streak. So very, very significant move with a lot of individual stocks, including Apple announcing for their new iPhone event on September 12th is when the actual announcement happens, and I think September 22nd is when the iPhones are going to be actually available to be shipped and delivered. But I think September 12th is the date for that event. They're going to make that announcement, and they're going to unveil the iPhone 15. Pretty much the same phone. I'm just kidding, but they are going to do that. So Apple here up almost 2%. We got Microsoft up 12 basis points, Oracle, Nvidia, Google, everything pushing higher. Amazon, Tesla, very, very flat. Micron did rally a little bit over 2%. Texas Instruments down about 85 basis points. Broadcom, AMD very flat. Adobe, Palo Alto Networks, Fortinet flat. And then Intuitive Surgical did have a really nice rally up over 2.6%. One of the few leaders on the day, which again, we did have a trade idea on that, right? What are the odds? Lows, we got Chipotle, we got TJ Maxx, we got PayPal pushing higher as well. Did some buying on PayPal earlier this week as well. So very, very nice move to the upside. I will be doing a video on PDD. I know there's a lot of excitement around this stock and on the day up over 5% under consumer cyclicals. So we'll be doing an analysis on this company very, very soon. So almost all sectors green except for healthcare and utilities. We had over the last 1 week, all 11 sectors in the S&P 500 are up. And in the last 1 month, energy and healthcare are the two sectors that are pushing higher. Everything else is down. So 1 day relative prices, lean hogs, orange juice, oats, cocoa, coffee, all pushing higher, with silver, cotton, wheat, feeder cattle, lumber price, sugar prices, all pulling back. And of course, we did have Bitcoin trade back over 27,000. Did a video on Bitcoin yesterday going over the massive catalyst of Grayscale kind of winning the lawsuit over SEC, and for SEC to kind of reconsider their application for a Bitcoin spot ETF, and Ether also back over 1,700 as well. So going over to the markets, crude oil once again creeping back above $81, $82 a barrel. So we did see a bit of a pullback, but now we're once again recovering back over this level, and this right here is going to be that resistance. If you do get a successful breakout, well then guess what? Next resistance target is going to be at over $90 a barrel for crude. That's obviously not going to be great because that puts upwards pressure on inflation. Bitcoin here just trading above 27,000. We've got a huge resistance at 28,000. So this right here is going to be that level to watch as a resistance. And Ether also getting a bit of a pullback after that resistance getting hit at 1,700. So again, both of these were up substantially yesterday and then pulling right back down today after hitting that resistance. Coming over to the market, so S&P 500. Now, here's one of the reasons why I don't like to make predictions, right? This is why I never want to make predictions, but sometimes it's fun to do that. But as I've already mentioned before, if you keep making predictions, well, guess what? Most of the times we are going to be turned out to be wrong, right? Because predictions, nobody can be actually correct consistently. And get this through your head because it's a really important concept, right? So that's one of the reasons why I don't like to make predictions. And again, we talked about how last week was going to be bullish, right? So that fortunately turned out to be true. This week, I know I mentioned that in the first three days, I do expect the markets to get up to that resistance, and maybe towards the later half of the week, we start to see a bit of a pullback. Well, then guess what? Macroeconomics, fundamentals, valuations, technicals, a lot of variables are at play. And once those are introduced into the equation, predictions don't matter anymore, right? And of course, we got a very softer print on JOLTS, we got a softer print on labor market, softer print on the GDP, and guess what? The markets are once again kind of excited about the idea the Federal Reserve is potentially going to look into cutting rates in 2024, maybe raising rates once, but then that's it, keeping rates at those levels for longer, and then cutting rates in 2024. And that's again kind of like what's getting investors excited, not to mention another very, very risk-on environment created by the Bitcoin catalyst as well, with Grayscale winning their suit over the SEC. So that's really what resulted in a huge breakout, right? So yesterday, S&P up 1.4%, today up another 38 basis points. So this head and shoulders, at least in my opinion, is no longer valid, because if it were, we would have gotten rejected at 44.50 and then started to roll right back down, come down to that support at 43.30 and then break down even further, right? So very nice breakout. Next resistance and target is going to be 4,600. So that's going to be that level to watch. And when it comes to dollar cost averaging, when it comes to options, again, I'm only dollar cost averaging in stocks that I do believe are somewhat undervalued right now. I dollar cost average in Enphase, dollar cost average in PayPal, and VUG is just that part of that experiment that I'm dollar cost averaging into. Other stocks, Tesla sold calls, Meta sold calls, Google sold calls, Palantir sold calls. Why? Because we are seeing a significant move to the upside, and taking advantage of those premiums higher is what I like to do. That's a hedge to protect downside, lower my cost basis, generate some cash flow, and also be able to get rid of my shares, de-risk a little bit as the price continues to move higher and gets in the money. So it's important to understand, right? It's not about me making predictions, right, where the market's going and trading off of those predictions, but instead understanding where we currently are and what makes most sense from a risk-reward standpoint. It's not about the future, it's about the present, right? Let me just put it that way. We're not trying to trade the future, we're trying to trade the present. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So next resistance and target is going to be at 4,600. So that's going to be that level to watch. And for the NASDAQ, we're going to be looking forward to 14,400. And like I said, this head and shoulders was valid for a long time until the macros and other variables were introduced. And of course, we got a huge breakout yesterday, and we are seeing some continuation past that, up over 0.5% as well. So next resistance and target at 14,400. That's exactly where we got rejected in the middle of July. Support level is going to still stay put at 13,300 in case we we start to get rejected here and then start coming back down. Talking about Apple here, Apple continues to make waves. A very, very nice rally up almost 2%, and from those levels of about 171, it's already valued almost 10% here, so very nice move to the upside. Next resistance and target is going to be at $197, so that pretty much is the all-time high. And again, RSI was oversold, the MACD was oversold. It's like textbook. Literally textbook. Yes, we did get a breakdown. Yes, we did come down to as low as 171. Yes, the next target and support was 157. But that's the whole idea of markets being chaotic, right? Markets being driven by a lot of variables, not just technicals, not just fundamentals, but a lot more other factors that is very hard to predict. So that being said, next resistance is going to be at closer to 197. Apple's valuation right now is still a little bit more on the expensive side, so I'm not personally interested in buying Apple at these levels or dollar cost averaging at these levels. But of course, from a technical standpoint, it made a lot of sense at those supports at closer to 175, 170s. A much better area of risk and reward would have been closer to 150s, but we're already started to move back higher on the back of these couple of catalysts. Talking about Amazon. So Amazon here is still consolidating sideways, so not really seeing a lot of momentum. So this right here is the higher low for Amazon where we're trading right now. So that's the consistent uptrend of higher highs and higher lows. We, of course, had a huge gap up, came back down to almost fill that gap here. And now we're just sitting at that higher low with a resistance at closer to 137. So this right here is going to be that resistance level to watch for Amazon, and we're getting rejected at that level. So previous resistance, previous support, previous resistance, and once again acting as a resistance. And the next time we break out of that, 146 is going to be that next level to watch, and support level is going to stay put at this higher low all the way down to 126 for Amazon as well. Talking about Tesla here, and Tesla on the day was very, very flat, so not really doing anything, down about 11 basis points, and also had a very nice breakout yesterday when it pushed up over 7%. Did a video earlier on Tesla detailing everything for you guys. This is the overall uptrend within which it's trading right now. And of course, in the context of a bigger downtrend, with the context of a horizontal resistance that's following up with us. So we got a lot of headwinds, in my opinion, from a technical perspective, for Tesla in the 290s, as much as 300s to as much as 340. So those right there are going to be some levels to watch for Tesla. And of course, support level is going to stay put at 240 right now, all the way down to inside this green rectangle, sitting in the low 200s. And we got a very nice bounce of 21% from those levels for Tesla as well. Talking about NVIDIA, and NVIDIA on the day, pretty much trading at an all-time high, right? So 499 was the high for the day. So NVIDIA continues to do really well, and there's no surprises here because the sentiment, the momentum, the euphoria, everything is incredibly strong for NVIDIA. And again, valuation's just a little too high, but it is what it is. NVIDIA is NVIDIA out at the end of the day. It's a very rare stock. It's an anomaly, in my opinion. Talking about Advanced Micro Devices, and AMD also getting a bit of a rejection there at those moving averages, and we're seeing a very nice sort of reversal back up, but overall it's still in a downtrend. So support level is going to stay put in the low 80s. That's exactly where I'm planning to restart my position in Advanced Micro Devices, because I do believe that this is a underrated stock in the semiconductor industry, that as soon as it starts competing with NVIDIA at that scale, it's got lots of potential to unlock. So that's what we're going to be focusing on in the future. Talking about PayPal, PayPal had a very decent rally back up to $63, up over 1.4%, so very nice move up. And resistance is going to stay put roughly around this red rectangle, so that's the level that we're watching very closely for PayPal as a resistance, and of course support level stays put at $57. We're seeing some momentum come back in. I mentioned this in our Discord yesterday that almost all the negative catalysts that I see for PayPal have been mostly priced in, right? There's nothing really that's out there that we don't know of, right? I mean, competition, Apple, FedNow, Elliott Management leaving, new CEO coming in, PayPal's relevance under question, everything that I just mentioned has already been priced into the stock, right? What else is there left, right? I mean, you tell me, what is there left for PayPal to basically be negative on? Nothing a lot, right? So resistance is going to be at $69, $70. That's exactly one of the reasons that dollar cost averaged yesterday, is because I think the risk reward is starting to feel very solid for this company. We're seeing a nice reversal on the RSI and the MACD as well, and support level is going to stay put at $57, $58. Next one on the list is Square. Square, I also posted a trade idea on Square. So again, if you want to get access to all that, link's going to be down below. I specifically posted entries, exits, profit targets, stop losses, all that stuff. And resistance is going to stay put at $67 with a support in the green rectangle in the low 50s for this company as well. Meta Platforms on the day down about almost 1%, still getting rejected at this resistance at 295. So this right here is going to be that level to watch for Meta. And of course, support level is going to stay put at 257, 258 for Meta as well. So we're starting to see a little bit of a pullback here. Again, that's exactly one of the reasons I wanted to get rid of my position. It's been, over allocated, so wanted to trim down on that, and resistance is going to stay put in the 290s for Meta. Talking about Netflix here, and Netflix also starting to move higher a little bit, up over 1% on the day. Resistance is going to be all the way up to 458 with a support level roughly around 410, and we're seeing a lot of consolidation, a lot of sideways trading for Netflix at the moment as well. Google here, on the other hand, continues to move higher, 137. This is really gonna put me in the money now. Like, the buyer is probably gonna exercise their right to buy the shares from me at 135 if this trades about 137.40. So I still have about 47 cents before it gets above the buyer's break even, but that's okay. That's okay. I do have a pretty decent cost basis. I will be locking in some nice profits, and that is completely fine. This right here was the bull flag, and of course we're seeing a very nice breakout to the upside. So 144 is going to be that next resistance level to watch. But I will be looking at maybe rolling out my options for later this month, or even in October. I'll have to double check, because right now my option expires on September 15th. So that's something I'll be paying attention to tomorrow. See what the premiums look like if I do end up rolling out my option, because this one's in the money. Next one on the list is going to be Microsoft, and Microsoft here also starting to maybe just push high a little bit, but not as enthusiastic as Apple. Apple has definitely seen a very nice recovery. Microsoft, not so much. Support level is going to stay put at 313, 314 with a resistance up to as much as 351 for Microsoft. And of course, a stronger support is going to stay put down to 292 for Microsoft as well. And last but not least, we got Shopify and Enphase. And Shopify here also seeing a very nice move up, 2% back over $60. Nice RSI MACD reversal here. Support level is going to stay roughly at 54 with a resistance up to $66, $67 per share for this company. And finally, we got Enphase just basically flat, down about 73 basis points, trading back above 128, but we are still very close to that good deal area for Enphase. So hope you guys enjoy this video and a complete update on the markets and the economy. There's, again, lots for us to unpack. We had lots of economic data coming out. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and link to our Discord Patreon is going to be down below. I did open up a couple more spots, 16% annual discount available till the end of this month. And don't forget, we also do have the fundamental and tech analysis courses, currently 50 to 60% off, coupon code LABOR4, and this does expire on Monday. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.